BJ Mafia, what's poppin'? The Jaguars go into a hostile environment in Week 7. They beat the New Orleans Saints 31-24 at Caesars Superdome, and the Jaguars now improved to 5-2 on the season. Are you not entertained? But all jokes aside, man, this was a huge win for the Jaguars, especially after what we saw transpire in that fourth quarter. The Jaguars are up 24-9 going into the fourth. The Saints rally back, tie the game up, and Trevor Lawrence leads a game-winning drive, and they win the game 31-24, and this is huge for the momentum because the Jags won on a short week. Trevor Lawrence was on a questionable knee in which he had a minor sprain in that Week 6 victory. A lot of things went into this game, and this was just a big win for the Jaguars to come out of and for us to be feeling really good. Before we get into this recap video, make sure you guys go ahead and do me a couple of things really quickly. Go ahead and drop me a thumbs up. It takes 1 second and it helps me and the channel out tremendously. If you guys are new here, consider hitting that subscribe bell to stay tuned for more Jaguars content that I do here on YouTube. And make sure you guys also go ahead and follow me on my socials, especially on Twitter. I'm very active and I'm on there every single day. The link tree will be in the description down below. But let's go ahead and actually talk about this game. I want to talk about the Saints just very quickly. The Saints team has been very underwhelming as of recently. After they got off to a 2-0 start, they've not looked great through these last 5 games, excluding that blowout victory that they had over the New England Patriots, who are falling apart right before our very eyes. The Saints do not look good. I understand they are dealing with a plethora of injuries, just like the Jaguars were dealing with a lot of injuries as well last night. The Saints need to do better. You have Alvin Kamara, who had 29 touches, 12 catches, 17 rushes, did a lot of great things out of the backfield. He was really felt like their only offense. You've got Rashid Shaheed, you've got Michael Thomas, you've got Chris Olave. Yes, you're without Juwan Johnson. Yes, you're without your 2 starting offensive tackles. Derek Carr has to be better. It's just that simple. 55 pass attempts, including a pick 6, not making a lot of great plays, and you got to give a lot of credit to the Jaguars defense, but this Saints team just does not look that great. Their defense, while this is a very well-renowned defense, a lot of great talent all over the field with the Honey Badger, Demario Davis, Cameron Jordan, Marshawn Lattimore, the list goes on. This is an extremely talented defense, and they let the Jaguars essentially do whatever they wanted to them. Yes, they played well and they had their moments, but the Jaguars offense did their thing. This Saints team did not do a great job. I believe they went 4 of 6 yesterday on 4th down conversions, and they went 3 of 18 on 3rd down conversions. You're not going to win games like that, especially when the Jaguars had 2 early turnovers, found themselves up double digits. I believe they were up 14-3 early on in the game. The Saints had to punt on one of those turnovers, and they kicked the field goal. You cannot capitalize off of turnovers. You're not going to win games. And when you're going 3 of 18 on 3rd down, you're not going to win games, especially against great teams like the Jaguars. The Saints, they got to figure some things out. I don't know what's going to go on with the Derek Carr situation because they're paying him a lot of money, but I just had to say my piece about them. They give the Jaguars everything that they could. They rallied late. It wasn't good enough. Yes, Foster Moreau had the drop at the back of the end zone, but when it came down to it and the Jaguars were down 24-24, I knew and I was confident this team was not going to lose this game. I have number 16. They don't. I have one of the best young quarterbacks and one of the best quarterbacks in the game of football. They do not. I was not concerned that the Jaguars were going to lose that game. Trevor Lawrence leads a game-winning drive, and the Jaguars end up getting the victory. Let's talk about Trevor Lawrence a little bit. 20 of 29, 1 touchdown, had a quarterback rating of an 84.1, scale of 0 to 100, and had a passer rating of a 100. Yes, Trevor Lawrence was on a bum knee, suffered that minor knee sprain in Week 6, but Trevor Lawrence looked great, moving well in the pocket, extending plays, doing a lot of great things with his legs, and was getting the ball out quickly and timely. That's what you want to see from your franchise quarterback. He led the team in rushing, 8 carries for 59 yards. ETN had 14 carries for 53 yards, including 2 touchdowns. Can't say enough about Travis Etienne. He's a top 3 running back in the game of football, by the way. For the Jaguars receivers, Christian Kirk obviously had the game-winning touchdown reception. He led the team in receiving, 6 receptions for 90 yards, including that touchdown. Evan Ingram, 5 catches for 45 yards. Jamal Agnew, 4 catches for 36. ETN, 3 for 24 out of the backfield. Tim Jones, 2 of 17. And Calvin Ridley had 4 targets, but only had 1 reception, 1 catch for 5 yards. Let me say this really quickly about Calvin Ridley. That incredible one-handed grab that he had on the sideline, after watching that replay, he was in bounds. Debate a wall about it. That was a catch by Calvin Ridley, and that was an incredible play. Defensively for the Jaguars, cannot say enough. They limited the Saints team to 9 points going into the fourth quarter. Obviously, 24 ended up being the outcome. Foye Oluokun was all over the field. He led the team in tackles, including that pick six. Devin Lloyd, phenomenal game. He's been incredible since coming back off of that thumb injury. He had 11 tackles. Jenkins did a lot of great things. The secondary, Darius Williams, has stepped the hell up these last 3 weeks. You're without Tyson Campbell, opposite corner, and Buster Brown, Monteric Brown. Look, he got cooked on a lot of plays, but two specific plays, when it mattered the most, he stepped up into the back of the end zone, including that fourth down play. You gotta give a lot of props, and you gotta give a lot of, credit to the young man for stepping up right there. Overall, what a hell of a game by the defense, and especially Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker off the edges, creating a lot of pressure. Despite the Jaguars not having a sack in last night's game, that it's not always going to equate to sacks. Getting pressure on Derek Carr, pushing the pocket inside and forcing him to make some bad throws, that's always going to equate to some, big plays for the defense, and that obviously worked out in our favor. You had a lot of passes deflected. You had the interception. Trey Herndon came in and played really well on a lot of blitzes and in pass coverage. Just a very sound game overall from Mike Caldwell in this defense. He's going to be getting a lot of job interviews this offseason. Now, I want to quickly end this video by, saying I'm obviously very happy the Jaguars won. At the end of the day, I couldn't care less about anything. As long as we have more points at the end of the day and we get the win, that's all I care about, and I'm sure that's what a lot of you care about. I just have one little thing to rant about with you guys because I want to be completely objective here. Putting all of my Jamal Agnew fandom and bias aside, let me be honest with you. If Jamal Agnew is getting targeted, if Evan Ingram is getting targeted, Christian Kirk, Travis Etienne, whatever receiver or offensive skill position player you want to name, I don't care who's getting targeted. If we're winning, I couldn't care less. If we get more points at the end of the day when those clocks hit zero, I don't care. I do not care if Jamal Agnew or Christian Kirk has 14 targets compared to Agent Zero getting 2 targets. If we're winning, I couldn't care less, and I'm sure Calvin Ridley feels that way. The amount of Jaguar fans I see complaining on Twitter about why is 39 getting targets, what is 39 doing in this offense, when he really didn't do anything wrong yesterday, because even on that punt return, Tavon Campbell got pushed into Jamal Agnew when he's looking up for the ball. Not even his fault, right? The amount of Jags fans complaining on Twitter about he shouldn't be in this offense, 39's getting too many targets. Bro, Marshawn Lattimore is getting clamps on Calvin Ridley for entirety of the game, their best cover corner, right? When you identify a mismatch with Tyrann Mathieu and Christian Kirk in this line, you hit Christian Kirk over the middle and he goes 44 yards for a touchdown, that's what your quarterback's gonna do. I understand the criticism, but I don't think it's warranted. And I know you guys understand what I'm saying. At the end of the day, who cares who's getting the ball? Who cares who's getting targeted? I'm sure these guys do not care about their individual accolades. I understand your fantasy, I understand your parlays, I get all of that. But if the Jaguars are winning, I could not care less. I don't care if 39 gets the ball, I don't care if he doesn't get the ball. If we're winning games, I just want to win. That's all I care about at the end of the day. I want to see the Jaguars continue to go up in the standings and to continue to assert their dominance in the AFC. So I just wanted to say my piece about that. But Jags fans, that's it for this video. Thank you guys again for sticking around throughout the whole video. Make sure you guys celebrate these next 10 days feeling victorious and feeling great. Before we prepare for the Pittsburgh Steelers, we are 5-2 in the AFC South, and we're going to continue to climb the AFC standings in order to get that #1 seed. Jags fans, I'll catch you guys around for the next video. Brett James, aka BJ, I'm out, y'all. Go Jags, baby. Peace.